Welcome to the 8th Annual Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. WNDS Sports and Tri-State Megabucks present Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Oh, look at this. Look at that. He got it. Spread eagle for a spin.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is sponsored in part by Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan.
Looks good. Looks good. Let's go. Let's go.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to semifinal week in the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. The last couple weeks, it was the Don Richmond show. Don defeated Dan Broder 2 weeks ago, 417-363. 2 weeks ago, defeated Rich Clark, 375-403. And last week, ran into a buzzsaw, a fellow named Tim Lipke in a closely fought match before losing to Tim 384-383. So that sets up this week, the semifinal week. We have 3 bowlers left. One of them will become the champion of the Tournament of Champions of 1996. Before we get to that, we got a little business of that bonus ball. That's climbed now to $60. So a chance of you at home to send in your postcards, win $60 plus new set of Paramount bowling balls that also will go to the bowler if we can get a match at the end of the show. But we got a little work to do before we do that. Let's turn to the bowlers. This week's matchup. Tim Lipke will be taking on Joe Ashline. Let's take first a look at Tim. Tim averages 128. Let's make it 133. He got better in 1 week. 215 for a high single. 515 for a high triple. His roll-off score to qualify for the show at 405, putting him in that number 3 seed. His opponent today, from Nashua, New Hampshire, Joe Ashline. Joe averaging 130, has a high single of 203, a high triple of 505, and his roll-off score, the number 2 seeded participant in this year's Tournament of Champions, at 406. So there you have the groundwork for today's match. We'll take a short break. We'll come back, and Tim Lipke will get us going.
The time is now, end of the year. Get your best Toyota deals before the new ones get here. Simply the best.
It's the 1996 Toyota Model Year Closeout. Your chance to get a new 96 Tercel with $500 cash back. Cash you can use to get a zero-down lease. Or get a final closeout lease on a new Corolla, just $179 a month. And year-end savings up to $750. The 1996 Model Year Closeout ends October 2nd.
With a young family of his own, Dick Sweat knows you have to budget carefully. He treats taxpayers' money carefully, too. In Congress, he voted for the balanced budget amendment and a line-item veto to cut wasteful spending, against the gas tax, against a Social Security tax increase. In the Senate, he'll work for targeted tax cuts to help families and a balanced budget that protects Medicare. Dick Sweat, as careful with your family's money as he is with his own.
With everything you need for your fall landscaping projects. Granite steps, paving brick, patio block, wall stone, and wall block, all on sale. Granite ornaments, scalloped edging, fireplace materials, flagstone, bluestone, cobblestone at end-of-season prices. Whether it's walls, walkways, or waterproofing, it's in stock, on display, and on sale until the 28th. Corriveau Routhier, Manchester, Nashua, Dover, and Concord.
Can you guess which cereal will now carry the American Heart Association symbol? The answer shouldn't surprise you. It's Cheerios. A diet low in saturated fat and cholesterol, including Cheerios, may help reduce the risk of heart disease. This Cheerios, made from whole grain oats, is also a good source of fiber. And those delicious O's are low in fat and saturated fat with no cholesterol. No wonder Cheerios carries the American Heart Association symbol.
Okay, here's where we are. Of course, the first 2 weeks, Don Richmond defeated both Dan Broder and Rich Clark before running into Tim Lipke last week and losing a close match by just a pin, 384-383. That brings us to the number 2 seed, Joe Ashline, against Tim Lipke, and the winner will take on Bob Kelly for all the marbles. Loser of this show, the runner-up, gets a check for $400. The winner not only wins the show, but it guarantees himself at least $600 the following week and a chance to win $1,500. Now, on paper, certainly these two bowlers can really put up some numbers. We'll see if it happens today. Just sliding by that 4-pin for the spare. $9. And the strike off the ball of Tim Lipke in the second. First look at Joe Ashline in a while anyways. He's been here a number of times. Remember, he's had 4 appearances. This is his 4th appearance in the Tournament of Champions. And that's why 4 horsemen left. Converts it for the spare. You see the replay, just splitting the 1 and the 2. Joe was a #1 seed back in January. He defeated his friend Gary Carrington 406 to 341 to earn his right here, and of course that 406 placed him in the #2 seed. What a 10. Splits the 3 and the 6 for the 4-7. Take a look. Wow. It was quick also. 23 after 2. Tim Lipke now working on the strike. Tim's body English tells me he thought he had a real chance of making that spare, and then the look on his face confirmed it. He was kind of surprised that he didn't get more than what he did. 7 fill on the strike. $8. So it's 34 after 3, and we're underway. Semi-final week. A lot at stake. Prize money keeps growing now as we enter the final weeks of the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions 1996. We'll go back through the Tournament of Champion winners in the final match. The championship match, kind of interesting to see who won, who they defeated, and their score, even more important. And just a $5 for Tim Lipke. Back in '89, it was Bob Moran defeating Pat Pay in a very close match, 358 to 353. Just a 5-pin separating those two bowlers. In 1990, it was Paul Berger over Al Cloutier, 391, 361. Joe Ashline's going to look at the 1, 9, and 10. Now look at the 9 and 10. In 1991, Pat Pay defeated this fellow you're looking at right now, Joe Ashline, 388 to 317. Nice spare by Joe Ashline. In '92, Mike Morgan defeated Paul Berger, 384, 347, as you see the replay in the 9-10. In '93 was Peter Flynn over who else? Paul Berger, 410 to 379. In 1994, Joe Ashline defeated Dan Broder 411 to 370, and that 411 is the highest in the finals of all the tournament of champions. And last year, Chris Sargent defeated who else? Paul Berger, 378, 355. And a 9-box. 48. It's a 9-pin advantage for Joe Ashline early in the match. Tim look at the 2 and 5. Tim Lipke and winning his match to appear here at 405, 315 was Paul Berger. So Paul Berger was one shy of making his 8th consecutive appearance. But he wasn't able to get by Tim. 49 through 5. We have another 9-10. This time, not quite as favorable because there is no playable wood on the deck. Well, right idea, trying to slap the 10-pin off the wall and come back for the 9. There's the patented Joe Ashline strike. You'll have to watch this one. Even with this replay, it's quick. Slow-mo. 58 now through 5 plus the 2 bonus balls. Looking for the double, and he gets it from the back door. Looked like he was going to be left with a triangle, 3, 5, and 6, and watch the wood come back. Right here, it's the 3, 5, 6, and look at the wood come. The 5, the 6, and then the 3. Making a statement early in the match is Joe Ashline with that double strike. Tim's going to be looking at the 4, 7. The worst thing you can do is let Joe Ashline run too far ahead of you. Ooh, sliding by the 4. As you can see, Timmy had that strike in the second, and now he's gone 5 boxes without any kind of a mark. Well, looked a lot worse than it was. Look at it, half Worcester left at first. Now he's just left with just the 1, 4, 7, 10. Piece of wood in behind the head pin. Possibilities here. Problem pin probably will be the 10. Oh, nicely done. Spare in the 8th. You see. It's early in the match to say a ball is important, but this one certainly is relative to the outcome of this match. Working on the double strike. And just 4. And 9 in the second strike. And a 10. 101 through 7, and it's a quick 32-pin advantage for Joe Ashline. Benefit of that double strike and 2 spares earlier in the string. 111 through 8. Tim Lipke working on a spare. Oh, Tim right back with a strike on spare. That'll knock 10 pins off that lead mighty fast. 1-3 pocket, never a doubt there. Lead drops to 22. He's having trouble. If he has trouble, it's on lane 31, it seems. He was talking about that after last week's match, too. Could try to solve 31. It's 8 Phil on the strike. And the 10 box finishes with 117 after just 49 after 5. So no doubt he will be behind, but it remains to see how many pins he'll be behind, depending on what Joe Ashline does the final 2 frames. Semi-final week. .610. Sometimes that happens when you throw as hard as Joe, boy. It just, if you're flush on a pin, you're driving it straight back. And he makes the 10. 121 through 9. Lead now just 14. Oh, kicks out the 6-pin. It's a break there, leaves himself at 2, 4, and 7. No, slides by. He's at 130. And a 10. So, a quick check of the scoreboard. 131 Joe Ashline, 117, a 14-pin advantage for Joe. And we'll be back with string number 1, 1996 Megabucks Tournament of Champions.
You've seen one Raisin Bran, you've seen them all. Total Raisin Bran? Let me guess. Raisins and bran? Sweet, crunchy, good flakes. There's 100% of all these vitamins in total. There's not 100% of anything in post. Am I the first to notice this?
Total Raisin Bran. The Raisin Bran with the total difference.
There's obviously a difference. I stand corrected.
Hi, I've been telling you that at Rockingham, Toyota, Dodge, Nissan in Salem, New Hampshire, you will find the best price from a dealership that cares. Well, let me tell you what you will find when you get there. First, when we can display Toyota, Dodge, and Nissan at one location, this is a rare opportunity for you to view the best selection of cars, trucks, and minivans in New England. Second, we are constantly adding cars and trucks to our used car inventory. So if it's a new or used car or truck, just remember Rockingham, Toyota, Dodge, Nissan in Salem, New Hampshire.
We asked people to try a nutritious new pasta dish.
It's very good.
It's the spot.
This is wonderful.
Nice herbs and spices. What is it?
It's Hamburger Helper's new Italian herb.
Hamburger Helper?
That's Hamburger Helper?
I'm surprised. Under 325 calories per serving.
I'm a calorie counter.
No preservatives.
No preservatives? This is new then.
New Italian herb. One of 3 new flavors of Hamburger Helper.
I'm impressed. I think I'll put it in my shopping cart. How about some more? Makes a real good feel-good meal.
More.
You say please?
Please.
Okay.
Can you guess which cereal will now carry the American Heart Association symbol? The answer shouldn't surprise you. It's Cheerios. A diet low in saturated fat and cholesterol, including Cheerios, may help reduce the risk of heart disease. This Cheerios, made from whole grain oats, is also a good source of fiber. And those delicious O's are low in fat and saturated fat with no cholesterol. No wonder Cheerios carries the American Heart Association symbol.
Okay, 14-pin lead for Joe Ashline. mostly because of the benefit of that double strike. Three, 6. Joe starts off with a mark. It's always good, sets you in the right mindset when you can get that first mark up early in the second game. But you're looking at the thoroughbreds of Candlepin bowling. These guys are nerves of steel, and they could throw an 80 game and come back with 180. You never know. Missing the head pin to the right leaves himself 4 pins, the 1, 2, 7, and 10. And 6, 26, I should say, 10 box for a 26. Tim's got to catch a little bit of the wood plus the 5 pin. Yes, very nicely done. So he puts a mark up in the first. Picture perfect. The end of the wood, the ball caroms into the 5 pin. The result is a spare. 6 on his spare also. He's trying to negotiate the piece of wood to the far left to move down a little bit. You can see there he's going to try to carry the ball off and take the 7 pin. But I think it might be too far out. Nope. And again, Timmy seemed a little surprised at the reaction of the ball in the wood. .24, so Joe Ashline increases his lead by 2, up to 16 now. Joe Ashline was a 1994 Tournament of Champion winner 2 years ago. I mentioned already, at that time he set a record, the highest pinfall in a final match at 411 over Dan Broder's 370. Spare for Joe. Joe missed the head pin, got a decent break though, just the 1 and the 9 pins. Piece of wood next to the head pin should help him on the 9. Didn't really use that piece, just drove the ball straight through. 2 in a row. Tim drops 8, 3-6. Didn't want to hurt him. Just caught enough of that 3 pin to come off the wall for the 6. Six fill, 4 horsemen to the right. Tim's still waiting to hit his stride. A couple boxes and then he'll miss the head pin. But this is right in there. That's 2 in a row. That's another spare going to the break. We'll look at it. 50 in a ball for Tim Lipke, 54 in a ball for Joe Ashline. We'll be back for the conclusion of the second game.
the 1996 Toyota Model Year Closeout. Your chance to get low 5.9% APR financing for up to 60 months on big T100s. Option savings up to $2,000 or first ever cash back on Tacoma 4x2s. But for low financing on T100s and closeout cash on Tacoma, you'll have to hurry. The 1996 Model Year Closeout ends October 2nd.
I was really beside myself. I really thought I was going to lose her. And the trauma unit was all set up and ready when we went in, when she went in.
People don't forget our way of care.
And as they worked on her, I had gone into the chapel to pray, and Liz came down and said that she had a chance.
Just ask Barb Corson, or ask anyone.
She came home on her birthday.
Opening everywhere.
Frosted Cheerios.
Perfect. So sweet and crunchy, this box never closes.
And they're all mine. Oh, mine.
Kids today think it's far out and groovy.
Those wholesome little O's have been frosted the whole way around for a crunchy, sweet taste everyone's into.
Hey, they're frosted.
Hey, we're clay.
Frosted Cheerios taste so good, this box never closes.
I've got to have more milk.
$18 pins is the lead for Joe Ashline. Joe's married. Wife Robin. I heard an uh-oh there from Joe, but it wasn't that bad, Joe. 4 horsemen left. Also has 3 children. Derek 6, Cody 4, and Amanda 2. And that's another spare for Joe Ashline. 3 in a row now, and 4 out of the last 5 boxes. Supposed to be a hard spare to make now with the plastic pins at 4 horsemen, but Joe is showing us how to do it. And he's really due to bury one of these times. It's a little light hit, wants the 2 pin to go. There's a piece of wood rolling out. Joe does a lot of his bowling at the Pilgrim Lanes in Haverhill and also Park Place Lanes right here in Wyndham. Cindy's system was go down and remove a pin. Just dropped it into the channel, but when a pin is out of play, it must be removed entirely. And so she's going to take it home with herself. Atta girl, Cindy. She's going to bring it back with her. Whoa, look at that ball come back. I just started to say, he almost cut that 2 pin into the 10, and then the ball almost cleared out the 10 pin. And a 10, 88. Let's take a look at this. He almost cuts the 2 pin just behind the 10, but then the ball stays in play. All right, Tim Lipke working on a pair of spares. And he's really got to try to keep pace with Joe. That's keeping pace, all right. Strike on spare, 3 marks in a row. And he, like Joe, has 4 out of 5 boxes marks. And there you see the replay of the strike. That pulls him even with Joe in this game. His turn for the double. His turn for the double, yes! There's a turn of events here. It'll turn this match completely around. You're in for a treat, boys and girls. Hang on, because this is going to go right down to the wire. These bowlers are pretty sharp right now. There's going to be some big scores when this is all said and done. Well, He's converted this a couple times already. 4 horsemen to the left. Make it again. He owns that shot in this match anyways. Just catches the head pin. A little thin that time, but enough to carry the head pin, the 2, 4, and 7. Right in the pocket. Big 9-pin drop. Just the 5-pin. Joe works for Glenn Electronics as a sales rep. And make it 2 in a row. Just when you thought maybe Tim Lipke was going to run away and hide, not so, says Joe Ashline. Puts 2 spares up in the 7th and 8th. And again, we come back to this double strike is nice, but this next ball is so very important because it counts on both of those strikes. Well, a little off target, skipped that ball a little bit. Drops 6. Well, if he's watching Joe Ashline, he'll know how to make this shot. Joe's made it a few times. He was watching. Spare on strike. Not much of a doubt about this one. It was just a matter of whether it was going to go or not. Some 116 plus this ball. Oh, right in the pocket. Well, the 5 kicks out of there. Gives him a shot at the spare. Now, that wood is way out in front, but he's got room to get by. Or his ball wants to go that way. If he takes enough of the wood, maybe the ball will just carry him right on straight through for the 7. No, he caught the tail end of it. Just a cap. Hang on. I believe he was trying to get by, and he very nearly did. Didn't have much room there. Just caught the piece of wood, deflected the ball in the pin. So it's a 10, and it's a 135 after a string of 5 consecutive marks and 6 out of 7 boxes. 6 out of 8 boxes, I should say. That's enough to give Tim Lipke the lead at least until Joe fills this mark. He leads by 4. Leads by 1. Well, we had a close match last week, and this looks like it's going to be the same way. Oh, just a 6 for Joe. 126 through 9. Both bowlers were kind of smiling and joking at the beginning of the match, but they got their game faces on now. I know it's getting down to crunch time, halfway through the match, or 2/3 of the way through the match. Split for Joe Ashline, 3-6-10 with the 4. And a 9 in 135 and a 2-string total of 266. It's exactly the same 2-string total that Tim Lipke had last week against Don Richmond at 266. Well, Tim got a big break there. 2, 4, 7, and 8. But he's got 2 pieces of wood coming together at the top there. Let's see what happens. Spare in the 9th, 145. You see just everything coming off the left sidewall. Increasing his lead by 7. 152. Oh. Right straight through. And Timmy will finish with 8 and a 160 and a 277. So he goes from 14 down to 11 ahead. We'll be back with string number 3, semifinal week on the Tournament of Champions. Don't go away.
They really lowered the prices.
Most restaurants, they go up. This place, they go down.
I can't get him out unless they're low prices.
Under $10.
Red Lobster introduces new low prices. Now 15 luscious dinners under $10.
You get shrimp, crab, salmon.
Try our succulent shrimp combo. Savory scampi and beer-battered shrimp.
I like shrimp, but I'm a shrimp eater.
With salad and Cheddar Bay biscuits, all this just $7.99. New low prices at Red Lobster now.
Then we can even afford dessert. So what a wonderful place.
Seen one Raisin Bran, you've seen them all. Total Raisin Bran? Let me guess. Raisins and bran? Sweet, crunchy, good flakes. There's 100% of all these vitamins in total. There's not 100% of anything in post. Am I the first to notice this?
Total Raisin Bran. The Raisin Bran with the total difference.
There's obviously a difference. I stand corrected.
Opening everywhere.
Frosted Cheerios.
Cut the pop-up. So sweet and crunchy, this box never closes.
And they're all mine. Oh, mine.
Kids today think it's far out and groovy.
Those wholesome little O's have been frosted the whole way around for a crunchy, sweet taste everyone's into.
Hey, they're frosted.
Hey, we're Clay.
Frosted Cheerios taste so good, this box never closes.
I've got to have more milk.
Not just brownies, brownies with a new attitude. Because taste is hot, fat is not. How do you handle all this chocolate? Open wide. Sweet rewards. Desserts with an attitude. New from Betty Crocker.
On Saturday mornings, Bisquick pancakes come out picture perfect. And if they don't, they still taste just as good. Bisquick. Make the most of it.
Swing of 25 pins in that game, 160 to 135. Timmy went from 14 down to 11 ahead. Good effort by Tim on the 3, 4, and 6. And a 10. Six and 9, and all kinds of help out in front. No problem there for Tim Lipke. Marks in the second. Joe wants that 10 pin to go. 4, 8, and 10. We've got an outside chance at 2 400s here. The way these bowlers are going at it. Oh, great try by Joe Ashline. And it's a 9 box. So let's see what happens here. Ball and pin, and then the second piece of wood comes flying over, but nothing touches the 10. 12 pins is now advantage for Tim Lipke. And a spare in the second by Joe Ashline. People at home always remember that these programs aren't possible without our sponsors, and one of our sponsors has been with us for years is Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan, Route 97 in Salem. Come to Salem and save. So if you're interested in a new car, please speak to the good people at Rockingham Toyota Dodge and Nissan. That's a 7-pin fill on Timmy's spare. And he makes it 2 in a row, trying to protect his lead. And he'll take another 7. By Tim Lipke. Let's take a look at what happens. Gets the 10 out of there, and the 10 kind of rocks forward and just trips the 6. You heard it. I was not happy with the half-wister right. None of us are, really. Good recovery there, though. Almost a spare. The spare 2-9 increases Tim Lipke's lead to 25 now, and he's also opposite of spare. Right back with a strike. Going to the break, Joe Ashline strike up in the 4th at 40. Tim Lipke 54 and a ball and a 25-pin advantage. We'll be back with the conclusion of semifinal week.
With a young family of his own, Dick Sweat knows you have to budget carefully. He treats taxpayers' money carefully, too. In Congress, he voted for the balanced budget amendment and a line-item veto to cut wasteful spending, against the gas tax, against a Social Security tax increase. In the Senate, he'll work for targeted tax cuts to help families and a balanced budget that protects Medicare. Dick Sweat, as careful with your family's money as he is with his own.
Why buy anywhere else when Nashua Ford gives you the easy price?
Just $96 over due to invoice total.
Every car, every truck, every time.
And you get all the rebates and incentives, too.
It's the hassle-free way to buy a new Ford, including Explorers, the new 96 Taurus.
Oh, and even the awesome new 97 F-150.
It's what you want.
No negotiating.
Every vehicle is clearly marked.
It's simple.
Buy or lease, business or pleasure. Only Nashua Ford gives you the easy price.
Just $96 over due to invoice total.
Nashua Ford.
Main Street, downtown Nashua.
What better place than an NFL game to ask people about the taste of Wheaties, the breakfast of champions?
Well, you can really taste the whole wheat.
I like it. I like the taste.
They've got a toasted whole wheat flavor.
Very good, crunchy, real good.
Can I have another bite?
These have got a crunchy, toasted taste to them.
I'm going to run home and buy a box of Wheaties for me and my kids.
Try the championship taste of toasted whole wheat Wheaties. You better eat your Wheaties. Hey, that's my line.
They really lowered the prices.
Most restaurants, they go up. This place, they go down.
I can't get him out unless they're low prices.
Under $10. Red Lobster introduces new low prices. Now 15 luscious dinners under $10.
You get shrimp, crab, salmon.
Try our succulent shrimp combo, savory scampi, and beer-battered shrimp.
I like shrimp. I'm a shrimp eater.
With salad and Cheddar Bay biscuits, all this just $7.99. New low prices at Red Lobster now.
Then we can even afford dessert. So what a wonderful place.
Okay, Tim Lipke working on a string of 3 spares in a row in the second, third, and fourth. And a 25-pin advantage, although Joe Ashline has a strike up, and either these bowlers have a strike up, you know what that could mean. The double means the match is practically even. 6 fill on the spare gives Tim 60 through 4. 2, 4, 3, 6, 4, and 7. .69 at the halfway point. That 31-pin advantage, of course, counts the 6 on the spare, which Joe Ashline is working on a strike in the same frame. A similar shot. Oh, wow, how did that jump over like that? Played it on the inside, off the right-hand sidewall into the 4-7. Watch this. My, oh my. Now, these guys find a way. Some great shot making. Joe Ashline now working on a strike. Not only was he full and then he couldn't get the break, the 6-pin kind of walked back. It looked like it was going to fall into the 3-pin and give him a spare lead, but the 3 and 6 are right together, and then he's got a cluster of 4 pins, the 2, 4, 7, and 8 on the left. Not what Joe wanted. And the 7 is 52 after 5. Now the lead climbs, well, reduced actually to 28, but Tim is working on a spare in the 6th. I mentioned Joe Ashline, the tournament champions winner in 1994. Tim Lipke has been in the tournament champions but never has made it to the finals. Oh, no luck for Joe Ashline. And the tide seems to be turning a little bit now in favor of Tim Lipke. It's 62 after 6. That is a fill on a spare, 9 pins. Leaves himself the 8-pin with a piece of wood in the back. Leaves him room for error to the left. And to the right. Now Timmy seems to be taking control. Waiting in the wings, Bob Kelly, our #1 seed. That's a 7 fill. He's going to look at the 2, 4, and 6. More importantly, is 105 through 7. Already at 382.
All right, Tim. It's okay.
113. Wood swings around for Joe to 2, 4, and 7. He'll have to just about mark out now with a 37-pin advantage for Tim Lipke. There's one. Keeps his hopes alive. Now, if there's a bowler around that I needed to go up there and throw a strike at any given time, Joe would have to be in my top 3. I'm not sure who the other 2 are. He can throw strikes. That's what he needs right now. And there is one of them. The ability to throw strikes at any given time. It's a trademark of Joe Ashline, just tipping the 7-pin, strike on spare. That drops the lead to 32, but opposite an 8 frame, he'll be able to reduce that even more. Final 2 for Tim Lipke. Spare and a 9th. It's going to make it difficult. He's at 400 even right now. .128 through 9. Good effort there by Tim Lipke for the spare. It's going to be up to Joe, and he's going to have to put a few more strikes up there. 138 and a 3-string total of 415. So Joe Ashline would need a 149 to tie. So that means he needs some strikes. 149 to tie, 150 to win. He's rolling at a 112 clip right now, but he's working on the strike. Oh boy. Well, unless he can convert this. And that will do it. Tim Lipke will be going into next week's final against Bob Kelly. Timmy's first time in the final match. This will be Bob Kelly's first appearance in the Tournament of Champions, which surprises me a little bit. I thought Bob would have entered into 1 or 2 of the others, but he hasn't. 108 for Joe Ashline, and a 3-string total of 374 to Tim Lipke's 415. There you get a glance at the scoreboard. We'll take a short break. We'll come back, talk to the bowlers, set next week's matchup, hand out some prize money and all that good stuff. Don't go away.
Not just snack cake with a new attitude. Because taste is hot, fat is not. Want a new twist on lemon? Pucker up. Sweet rewards. Desserts with an attitude. New from Betty Crocker.
On Saturday mornings, Bisquick pancakes come out picture perfect. And if they don't, they still taste just as good. Bisquick. Make the most of it.
Okay, welcome back. Let's have a good round of applause for those 2 bowlers, 2 of the finest Candlepin bowlers that you're going to see in a long time. A great match, hardly fought right throughout the whole match. You didn't know which way it was going to go. In the end, Tim Lipke 415 to Joe Ashline's 374. Timmy had 12 spares and 4 strikes, and Joe had 12 spares and 4 strikes, and Joe had 10 spares and 4 strikes. So the strikes were the same. The spares were a little off, but let's bring Joe Ashline up. I said During the match, Joe, if there's one guy that I need to get up there and throw a strike at any given time, it was you. And, of course, you got that strike. And you were looking for the double, right?
Oh, yeah. I kind of butchered my strikes at the end there. When I had a shot if I could have filled the strikes with anything. But, geez, you know, 2 spread eagles on him. Yeah, you can't do that against a guy like Tim.
I thought that when you're looking for the double strike that you released that ball a little farther out in the lane than you normally do, and you went right through the middle. Did you put a little extra behind it?
I don't know if I put any extra behind it, but you know, when you need to throw a strike, it's not always the easiest thing to do, especially to stay in the match. So.
Well, I don't know about the people here in the audience, but I certainly enjoyed watching you over the years, and I'm sure we're going to see you again next year. There's a check for $400, and you see some of your children here. You can spend that on them. They're here to collect the check, right?
No, my wife's here to collect the check. I don't know what she does with the money, but you know, she has a good time spending it.
Joe Ashline. Okay, Tim. We've got $60 waiting for somebody. And, Timmy, you need a new set of bowling balls. Those orange things have got to go. Would you all agree? He's got to get rid of those orange bowling balls. We need a 7. Let's see. Regina Fawcett from Lowell, Massachusetts. Her guess was 6.
She had no faith in me.
I know. She saw a lot of Four Horsemen all through the match. Maybe that's what you should look at.
I think so.
You didn't crack. You get through a double strike at you. You know what you had to do. You came right back with a double strike of your own. I think that was probably the turning point of the match, and then he ran into a couple problems there.
Yeah, he started going through the let me try that again. Started going through the middle a little bit, and fortunately I was able to come back on him. Against a bowler like Joe, though, you can never put up your guard because you've got to be on your best, and fortunately today I had him by a little bit.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch both of you guys like prize fighters waiting for somebody to make a mistake and the other to capitalize on it. But next week, Bob Kelly.
Another great bowler. It's going to be a tough match, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be over 400 for both of us, I hope.
I can't get you to say any trash talking or anything like that against Bob, so I can tell him, stir a little excitement up here.
Maybe next week, not right now.
Tim, we'll see you next week. Thank you. Okay. All right, great champions, both of those bowlers. But now we've got it set up. Tim Lipke against Bob Kelly, and next week's championship week should be a great one. So I'll be here. I know the enthusiastic crowd will be here. Those 2 bowlers will be here, and I hope they bring their best bowling with them. For Doug Brown, I'm Dan Murphy. For the entire crew, thanks for making us part of your weekend. See you next week for championship week.